Hey guys, Probo1701 here, and today we are going to be ranking Series 6 of the modern Doctor Who series, Matt Smith's second season, and as I like to call it, the time when things started to go wrong. Because I think the first 5 series of the show are really good. I think Series 6, while still having good episodes, is where modern Doctor Who started going downhill. I think this is kind of, I won't say the beginning of the end, but I do think this is where the show really started to dip in quality. And I don't think it's ever really dug itself out of that. Even to this point, when I'm recording this, Series 12 has already aired, and Revolution of the Daleks, which I actually liked, has already aired, but Series 13 is still filming. But I still don't think the show has dug itself back out from that. And I can definitely say here in the States, the popularity of Doctor Who is nowhere near what it was before Series 6 aired. Doctor Who has been declining in popularity over here in the States for about the past 10 years or so, to where it used to be I could just run into an average person, oh, maybe not average person, but I could run into a lot of people and have a Doctor Who conversation. You know, I could have a couple of girls I dated who were Doctor Who fans. That was one of the things that got us talking. These days, I don't run into it a lot. I'll run into people, I get the, oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. I get that a lot now. Every now and then I'll run into somebody who saw it, or they've seen a few episodes of it. I don't run into just a lot of people who watch it, you know, the way I watch it, the way most people watching this video will watch it. So, and I hear it's the same way in the UK. Anyway, moving along, let's get started. We have 11 entries on this list. I won't be including the Christmas specials since they're technically not part of Series 6, but I'll touch on those. I'll touch on A Christmas Carol at the end of the list. Number 11 on the list is Night Terrors. This story is awful. It is on my never rewatch again list. I don't like it. I find it uninteresting. I find it an original idea, to be fair. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's very bad. That scene when Amy turns into a doll is creepy. I don't like it. I don't like it. If this was the first episode of Doctor Who I ever saw, there might not have been a second episode of Doctor Who I would have ever watched. It's on the do not ever watch again list. The God Complex. I've gone on at length before about how I dislike the God Complex. That is the next one on the list. I do not really care for it. I think it's very well executed. I think it's just a crap story. Where is my Series 6 still book? I keep looking over on it. I feel like I forgot to put one on the list somewhere. Yes, I think I did forget to put one on the list somewhere, but I know exactly where it goes, so that'll be fine. Series 6 Steelbook, which I did have imported. Sophie did a pretty good job on it, I like to think. Yeah, the God Complex is like the opposite of the Power of Kroll. I think it's really executed well. Definitely has some of the Shining vibes going on here. I think a lot of the camera angles used are really good. It's really good at building tension and being creepy, and has a lot of atmosphere to it. I really like the execution, and because of that, I could go back and rewatch this episode. The story is just utter trash. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Well, it takes whatever you believe in and replaces it with him, so you believe in him and then he kills you. Well, that's not quite what happens. Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck happens. Ghostlight is easier to understand than this story. Seriously, I can watch Ghostlight and be like, yeah, I get it more though so than I can some of the stuff in this story. It's a trash script. Just a really, really well executed trash script, which makes it watchable. Next on the list is the Rebel Flesh Almost People two-parter. Don't care for it. Couple good moments, like when the Flesh Doctor first shows up and he's kind of going through previous incarnation stuff. Love the bit at the end when she finds out they've traded shoes. Like the fact that the one Flesh is totally the opposite of the original girl, where she's really nice and kind. The Rebel Flesh is murderous. That's really neat. Other than that, it should have just been a one-parter. I think if it had been one part, I would have liked it a lot better. I just think as a two-parter, it just doesn't hold its weight, so to speak. I find it uninteresting at the end of the day. Watchable, but uninteresting. Next on the list is Let's kill the World War II guy that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me to say, even though it's more okay with me cussing. But I don't like the Let's Kill episode. I think it's just uninteresting. It's one of those I can go back and rewatch it every blue moon. I say that, but I've only seen it twice, including when it originally aired. I find it uninteresting. It reveals a couple things for the plot about the question is asked. What is the first question? What is it? Unknown. So you have a couple seasonal plot details there, but and the fact that we've never seen Mel before, we don't have any vested interest in the character, so it's not a big, oh, hey, wow, I didn't know that was really River thing. Now, if Mel had been introduced at the beginning of Season 6, or Series 6, or during Series 5, and there had been a build to that, there might have been a payoff. But since we just kind of see her at the beginning of this episode, and then, boom, she's River, it doesn't really have that full effect. To me. Next on the list is Curse of the Black Spot. We are getting into the ones that are good. Curse of the Black Spot to me is a lot like the Android Invasion, which I reviewed recently. I think, especially after having rewatched Androids, Android is good. I don't think it's great. I think it's the weakest of season 13, but season 13 is an amazing season. But it's good. It's something to go back and watch every now and then when I'm in the mood for something different. Because while there are parts of the story I don't like, there are parts of the story I do like. Curse of the Black Spot is a lot like that. It's good. It's not a story I want to watch a lot, but every now and then when I'm in the mood for something different, and maybe a Doctor Who episode I haven't seen in a while, Curse of the Black Spot. Some of the stuff in it doesn't quite work for me. Some of the stuff in it I think is pretty neat. At the end of the day, it's just squeaking into good territory. Number 5 on the list is Closing Time, and it's this high simply because I love the 11th Doctor with Craig. I like the open bit before the credits with the woman going in the shop. That's a cool open. I really liked it. Very creepy. Having the Cybermen back is all right to me, all the way up to the part where he beats them with love. This is really where the story falls apart, is when Craig manages to free himself because he hears his baby crying. I'm sitting there thinking, how many other people have been converted that had loved ones and it didn't work? If they could beat them with love, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would have been able to break free by now. So it's very Deus Ex Machina and eye-rolling and just, whatever. But the scenes before that with the Doctor and Craig, I always love the 11th Doctor with Craig. This is my favorite part of the Lodger. I just think Matt and him have good chemistry together. I think the 11th Doctor and Craig have good chemistry together. I love anytime they're on screen together. It's very, very humorous. And then I like having the Cyber Matt back. So that was a nice little nod to the classic series, having the Cyber Matt back. So that's the reason why it ranks so high. Number 4 is the Wedding of River Song, and we're still only in good category. Wedding of River Song has a lot going on in it. And it doesn't quite wrap everything up beautifully. But it is kind of one of those, I can turn my brain off and really enjoy it. There is a lot going on, which makes it a fun watch. And as long as I'm not really thinking about it, I can enjoy it. Plus, it has the guy who plays Churchill back, and I really like him as Churchill. I think he's a really good actor. So I enjoy it. It's just dumb fun. It's like watching Rise of Skywalker. If I turn my brain off, I can enjoy it. It's not great, but I can enjoy it. Let's see. Number 3 is The Doctor's Wife, and this is where we really get into the episodes that I like for the season. I love The Doctor's Wife. The actress who plays The Doctor's Wife in it, she's really, really good. The woman playing the human TARDIS, I really enjoy her in this. All of the cast do such a good job. Amy and Rory put in some great performances. Matt puts in a great performance as the Doctor. I love that bit about, I've killed hundreds of Time Lords. Fear me, I've killed all of them. I love the way he delivers that line, and when he talks about how, you gave me hope. And hearing how excited he was, he might have found more of his people when he realizes it's just a call box and it's a trap. And then the guy who voices House in it, he does that voice. It's so ominous and creepy and threatening and scary. It's such a good voice. They really did good casting on that. Love the use of green lights throughout it, and how House is toying with Amy and Rory. That goes on a little too much in my opinion, but I really enjoy this. And then there's some nice, as serious as this episode is, there's some nice humorous moments between the TARDIS and Matt. What do I call you? Sexy. You call me sexy. Only when we're alone. It really does. It really does have some nice moments in it. I really like it. Number... I guess technically I'd be moving up to number 3 since I left one out. The Girl Who Waited. This is a really good episode, and Karen puts in such a good performance as both Amy's. Plus, the makeup used to age her is really good. I did want to mention that. I really like that they used really good makeup to age her. Arthur also puts in a good performance. It's nice to basically see Matt sidelined and having to work from the shadows. And again, we're seeing kind of a consequence of his actions because it's him taking them there that causes this problem. Sometimes the doctor doesn't, he kind of causes more harm than good occasionally unintentionally. So he kind of sets up this whole situation accidentally. But it's such a good performance. It's such a good story, and it's so heartbreaking, especially that part at the end and between older Amy and Rory at the TARDIS door. It's beautiful. It's touching. Karen playing the older Amy and just seeing everything she's gone through, and how just what age can do to a person. Seeing how, much like in real life, how age can make you bitter and less optimistic and resentful, and how it can really, you look at where you're at when you're 20 and who you are when you're 40, and it can really dull the knife, so to speak, to where you're not quite the chipper person you used to be. Time and age just have that effect on so many people because reality can be not the most kind thing. So I think in a way that's a story a lot of people can relate to. Really, really powerful story, and I do think essential watching if you're a Doctor Who fan. Number 2 on the list is A Good Man Goes to War. I really love this story. There's just so much good going in it. I don't even know where to begin, but Matt is just on fire here. The opening with Arthur is so good with the Cybermen. This whole story just goes. From the beginning, it's just boom. Matt's doing good, and I like that bit about Amelia Pond, get your coat. And that bit when he first pulls down the hood, point a gun at me if you like. I love that. I just love how confident he is. And that bit when he's like, I want you to tell them to run away. I want you to be known as Captain Runaway. When people see you in the streets, they'll say, that bit about good men don't need rules. Now is not the day to find out why I have so many. There's so many wonderful moments in the story. I really, really enjoy going back to watch it. It's so good. And then number 1 on the list is The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. Again, I really love this one. I love going back to it. I think it does a good job of setting up the seasonal arc and introducing a lot of mysteries. I love the idea of the silence. An alien that as soon as you're not looking at them, not only do you forget them, you forget ever seeing them. They're completely erased from your memory. That's fantastic. And I love the kind of Slender Man vibe they have going on. That's what influenced the Legend of the Slender Man. I love that. Love the mystery it sets up with the little girl. Love the guy who plays Kenton Edward Delaware III in the past. I really like him as an actor. I know he was on Battlestar Galactica. I remember he was on Battlestar Galactica. I really like him as an actor, and I loved him in this role. He was so good. I love when Rory salutes Nixon, but he does the British salute. He's somebody saluting back and that's wonderful. I absolutely love that. I love when Doctor Who does little moments like that. I really do love them. They really add to it. But yeah, and then how the Doctor uses the moon landing to basically set them up to destroy themselves. It's so clever. It's such a Doctor thing to do. It's just such a good 2-part. And it's a 2-parter where I think Part 2 lives up to Part 1. That doesn't happen in the Moffat era, but I really think it does here. I think both parts are equally amazing. I really like that. So that's my number 1 of Series 6. I do want to mention I really love A Christmas Carol. I didn't rank it since it's technically not part of Series 6, but I do want to mention I love it. It would have been in the top 3 or 4. It's my favorite Christmas special. I love me some Michael Gambon in it. It's a nice spin on the A Christmas Carol story, and Matt's a lot of fun in it. Love when he breaks his psychic paper. I must have told a lie that was too big for it. So I do love A Christmas Carol a lot. So that is my ranking of Series 6. I would like to know what you think of my ranking and what your ranking would be. So in the comments below, because I always enjoy interacting with you guys, let me know how you would rank Series 6 of the modern series. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. I also have a Patreon page if you would like to become one of my patrons and help steer the direction of the channel. There's a link to that down below. The entry level tier is only $2 a month. If you like what I do and just want to contribute, trust me, it means the world to me. It really does. Most importantly though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.